Welcome back to Deciphering Zodiac, a chronicle of terror, brought to you by History and Crime. I'm your host, Tammy D, and in this second episode, we embark on a chilling journey, a deep dive into the lives of the Zodiac Killer's first victims, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, combine. But before we unravel their tragic tale, a quick disclaimer. The following content contains graphic descriptions of violence, murder, and other criminal activities. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of myself, Tammy D, the creator, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organisation, employer, or company. The information presented in this podcast is based on historical sources and research, but it is not intended to be a definitive account of the events or the people involved. As the creator of this podcast, I do not endorse or condone any of the actions or behaviours depicted in the true stories. The purpose of this podcast is to educate and entertain, not to glorify or sensationalise crime. Our tale begins on a moonlit night, just inside the city limits of Benicia. Two young lives intersected tragically: David Faraday, a 17-year-old high school student, and Betty Lou Jensen, just 16. Their first date, their last moments. Picture Northern California in the late 1960s, a time of innocence and unrest. Rural roads whispered tales of young love, but on December 20th, 1968, they bore witness to a darker story. A gravel turnout on Lake Herman Road became the stage for the Zodiac Killer's ominous debut, where shots rang out, snuffing out two lives. At the crime scene, a car door stood as a canvas for cryptic symbols, a chilling signature left behind by the killer. Alongside it, a 408 character puzzle perplexed law enforcement, leaving them to ponder the message hidden within. What twisted mind had etched these enigmatic symbols, and what purpose did they serve? With the birth of fear, the Bay Area trembled under the Zodiac's audacious communications. Letters to the press contained fragments of a cryptogram, each demanding publication on the front page under threat of a kill rampage. The city grappled with an unsettling choice: comply with the killer's demands or risk further violence. The hunt began as detectives scrambled to decode the cryptograms. Racing against time, they sought to unveil the killer's identity. Fear gripped the city, torn between morbid fascination and terror. Who was this elusive murderer, and what motivated their cryptic messages? David and Betty Lou became forever entwined in tragedy, their lives snuffed out prematurely. Theories emerged, questioning if Faraday was targeted due to drug knowledge, but the case remained unsolved, a haunting enigma across decades. Families mourned, and the Zodiac's malevolence cast a long shadow over their lives. Detectives huddled over the cryptograms, grappling with the twisted workings of the killer's mind. Could these symbols finally reveal the murderer's identity? The stakes were high, and the city held its breath. Editors faced moral dilemmas as life and death hung in the balance. Should they publish the Zodiac's demands, risking further bloodshed, or defy the killer's threats? The weight of responsibility pressed upon them. Yet, despite efforts, the cryptograms remained unsolved. More letters arrived, more cryptograms, each intensifying the hunt for the elusive killer. The Zodiac's audacity persisted, leaving the city in a state of perpetual fear. The Zodiac's first victims marked the beginning of a saga that would grip the nation in fear, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions. Was Faraday's death targeted, or was it merely a random act of violence? The case continues to haunt, a chilling reminder of the Zodiac's reign of terror. In the next episode, we'll delve deeper into the Lake Herman Road murders. We'll explore the chilling details of the crime scene, the victims, and the cryptic messages left behind by the Zodiac Killer. We'll also examine the impact of these murders on the community and the ongoing investigation that followed. We'll discuss the theories that emerged in the aftermath, the suspects that were considered, and the clues that have yet to be deciphered. We'll also look at the psychological profile of the Zodiac Killer, trying to understand what could have driven such heinous acts. As we continue to unravel this dark tale, we'll also reflect on the legacy of David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen. Their lives were tragically cut short, but their memory lives on, a stark reminder of the senseless violence inflicted by the Zodiac Killer. Join us as we continue this deep dive into one of the most infamous unsolved mysteries in American history. Remember, the Zodiac's secrets are waiting to be uncovered. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and most importantly, stay safe. See you in the next episode.